legal here, right?
It is legal. The government has sanctioned it in 1973, and ever since then in America alone there's been 57 million that's in our own backyard. And what happens, abortion, and they're the littlest of human beings. So what happens is we go day to day closing our eyes, ears, mouth to what is happening in our own backyard, where we innately know, because God has placed our consciousness, that we ought to show human dignity to one another, right? To love our neighbor as ourselves, as Jesus said. And instead what we're doing is we're choosing to look away. Because if we look away and pretend it's not happening, guess what happens to our conscience? Well, we attempt to justify, right?
So 57 million people, they aborted kids.
Yeah, and that's what it is, that they're people. No different than you and I. No different, because we're all made in the image of God. That is where our dignity comes from. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't went through something like that, so I don't know what to say, you know?
Well, if it's murder, wouldn't you still have an objective opinion on it?
Yeah, murder is different, because it's someone who's living in the world. In people's eyes, you know, when someone's in your stomach, they're not in the world right yet, you know, so...
Well, they're in the world, they're just in the womb. Now, would you say that they're living, they're alive? No. Because if they're alive and they're people, like you said earlier, then, and parents are going...
I mean, kids, like, of course it's wrong, but when you're born, you know, they don't have a conscience yet. They don't understand, like, what's going on, you know?
Okay.
In your womb.
Well, but why would that define whether it's murder or not? If they're people, if they're human beings...
Do you think it's murder?
Absolutely.
It is murder, yeah.
So if it's murder...
You know,
it is. It's a living person made in the image of God, that we should treat no different than I should treat you. What was your name?
Isaac.
Isaac, my name is Arnold. The same way that I am to treat you with human dignity because you deserve that much, because you're made in the image of God, is the same way that that child deserves to be treated with human dignity, equal human dignity. Instead, what we've done is we've taken what we know, that we ought to love one another as we want to be loved ourselves, and instead we're taking and we're butchering the most innocent, right? It is horrendous evil that is happening in our own backyards, and God says that He will render to us what we deserve, and that He will hold us accountable for our sin. And if God was to hold us accountable for our sin, the penalty for that is death. But He also in His mercy sent His Son that you could be forgiven of your sin if you repent and put your trust in Him, Isaac.
Cool, man.
Think about it.